Hello, Neverwinter.
Hey, no,
So,
nasty. Obi
I've been
first.
getting back to my healer roots recently. We took my Warlock into MSoD the other day, healer spec, hot spec,
Well,
and
the
got
question.
a nice little easy
What do you
deathless.
think of the
So,
success of the
I
run?
figured I would put out a little mechanics guide for how to heal when you are a Warlock healer.
Ignore her.
And this is going to be only really pertinent to a Warlock healer or potentially a cleric. Obviously, the bards and the pallies have a completely different playstyle, and it's kind of important to remember as well. This dungeon is heavily carried by the paladin. I mean, to the point where you know, if the paladin was to fall off and fail out, the run tends to be abandoned. That's how important the pally is. The main function of the green healer, the hot healer, is the phases downstairs where the dot tick starts coming in, and the final phase, phase 7, is where it starts getting sweatier
To be fair though, those are all
as a healer.
the same button, so it's more of a timing thing.
Do me a favour, click the like, subscribe, leave a comment. Engagement helps. And let's get into it.
Yes.
So at the first point here, you want to fire off a vampiric just to get the first hot going. Lay down your soul storm. This applies a second hot. It's actually separate to the vampiric hot, and they do stack. So where possible, you want to have both of those on. Pillar of power as well. That gives a nice little defense boost to the DPS. Mostly useful for the hypos. Make sure you've got it up for the hypos. And you want to be making sure that you got your at will shield on, and just keep an eye on the tanks. When those tank busters are coming up, make sure that they've got, if the pally hasn't been able to cover them, make sure you go over and give them a single target. For the most part, you need to be positioned roughly, if not directly central, then just certainly within a position where you can cover the tanks as well. Daily wise, the bubble is superior for the damage mitigation, but it's also, the positioning can be really dodgy, especially if you've got a bard in the group and everything's desyncing. You can actually reposition the bubble using your R1 skill. If you press it for a little while, I don't know if this is a bug actually, because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to stop working with the bubble up. But anyway, if you use it when the bubble is up, the soul spark just repositions itself on top of your position again. And that's just to accommodate, well, that's for the situations where your soul spark's got stuck on a rock or a mote of light or a piece of dust or whatever, which it does somewhat often. So it's obviously a lot safer jumping down on the Warlock healer than it is on the Warlock DPS, because you can't actually shield yourself up before you go down. And the level of shields that the Warlock can pump out on that single target now is outrageous. As a Warlock healer and someone who knows the runes very well from doing the tanking, it's my responsibility during these runs to take the third and last rune. It's because of the Warlock speed, basically. Just makes it a lot more safe speed wise. You'll probably notice we do have a very, very talented paladin here. He's doing an absolutely fantastic job shielding people up. So much so that barely get a chance to actually do any healing myself. Yeah, big shout out to Obi, the great and powerful. And since we don't obviously have the same sort of control resistance that we would have on a tank, it's a good idea just to try and be the last to jump onto there so you can avoid any of the pushbacks.
Clearly blinded by the amazing heals.
And then obviously if you have the capacity you want to rejoin the group, but if not, rely on the other healers to keep those guys up. And then just give yourself a bit of shielding as you go as well. Important thing on a Warlock is make sure you do not shadow slip whilst you're in mid-air, because you will drop like a stone. I know it can be a bit tricky, especially on the normal PlayStation controllers, with how delicate those that L1 button can be. And generally your sort of phase of play is every time you group up to the left here, you put down your Soulstorm, fire off your Vampiric to get that double proc going. And there you can see the problem with the bubble. I think we just managed to get in on it there. Now with these red circles, the Pally is going to be shielding directly before, and you need to make sure that you're firing that Vampiric Embrace directly afterwards. And that's a habit you need to get into more for the final phase, where there is a dot going as well, so where the Pally shield can get sort of ripped slightly before you get the hit damage, and then a tick happens again afterwards, so your heal needs to hit directly after that initial blast.
Is that you call blind trust? It's like we do not certify that this will succeed.
And when you're down here as well, before you go off to get your rune, if you are taking the rune, just make sure to drop a hot on everyone if you can before you go. Rule of thumb if you're running Pillar of Power is try to put it in the middle of your Soulstorm. Pillar of Power does not show up for anybody else at the minute for some reason, so if you make sure you put it in your Soulstorm, you can at least let people know where it is that way.
Hashtag anger the bulls.
I have you in my grasp now.
Divinity and Soulweaver regen are less of an issue than they used to be. I don't currently have the Celestial Helm, which gives a up to 50% regen yet, but there are alternatives, such as the MSoD healing helmet, which in my opinion is actually better due to its consistent uptime versus some of the newer ones which only activate when you actually heal, which puts you in a weird position where you need to gain more from... You need to gain more regen from the heal than it costs to actually do the heal, if that makes sense. That being said, I do think the 50% from the Celestial Healing Helm might actually do better than the passive regen from the MTOS Helm, so I'm looking forward to getting that and testing it out.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
Bask in the glory of our new lord. So Isis Natok. Bel Arja Dolor Dictus. Justos Dolor Flagris. Justos Dolor Flagris. Justos Dolor Flagris.
You're welcome.
The mythology. Wicked creature. I will best this corruption, you putrid wretch!
Stun it, Obi. Stun it in the face.
Yeah, so you can see there is a marked increase in the amount of damage coming in now. And
Okay,
like
yeah,
I say,
know exactly
without the
what
pally there, well, this would not be going as well. Put it that way.
Listen, you just gotta you gotta dodge and weave, bro. Skill, pure skill.
And that's about it.
They're wondering what dumb shit I can do.
There we go. How to heal a deathless MSoD. We kind of made that look easy there, to be fair.
Blessed be the heavens. I am
And that's why
Obviously, for less experienced players, it is more difficult. So, if you've got any questions, ask them in the comments. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you like a lot of videos, please subscribe.
OB.
And I will put this build out soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.
That was really fucking good, Pally Healer, Nobi.